To calculate slope, we want to use the slope formula. So basically the slope formula is going to be the change in y over the change in x. And we express this with x1 or x2 minus x1. And if we do x2 first, we just make sure that we do y2 first on the top. Okay, please make sure that you put y's on the top, the verticals goes on the top, and the horizontal goes on the bottom. So that is our slope ratio. So when we calculate the slope between A and B, we want to find our slope triangle and find the rise between those 2 points. So -2 is our end position, -6 is our starting position, and so we went up +4. So that's our change in y. Our change in x is our change in horizontal, so we ended up at +1, and we started at -6, so we went to the right +7. Okay, so again, we can count. Counting is the most reliable thing we can do, but we want to be able to express the slope as a difference of positions and coordinates. So our slope ratio then, the slope ratio works out to be +4 over +7. Okay, and we're going to leave it like that. We can make this into one number decimal slope by dividing. That's a unit slope. But even if we use a unit slope, we have to remember that the slope compares two things, rise compared to run. From B to C, again, we can draw on our slope triangle. So this length here is going to be, we end at 4, we started at -2, so we went up 6. Okay, and I can count 6 units on my grid. From 1 to 4, I'm going to end at 4, start at 1, so we went to the right 3. And so when I write the slope for those two between B and C, the slope is going to be equal to +6 divided by +3 is my run. So I'm going to express this slope as a one number slope and write this as slope of 2. Okay, and it's always implied that there's another number in there. The other number is 1. So this is what we're going to do to find the equation of a line. We're going to first find the slope. Okay, so the slope between these two coordinates. Okay, I always take the second number. That's my rise. The first number is my x, so that's my run. So I started with 6, so I have to start with 5. So I end up with 3 over 3 as my slope. So I have a slope of 1. Once I establish my slope, I want to solve for my y-intercept, which is b. To find b, I have my general equation. I have to write it out like this, and then I can plug in an x and a y into my equation, and I can always do this. And by doing this in this situation, I left with one variable b to solve for, so I can solve for b. So I'm going to end up with 3 is equal to 1 times 2 plus b. Okay, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides and end up with b is equal to 1. So there it is. I've got my slope of 1 and my y-intercept of 1. There is the equation of my line.